everyone, and welcome to the Funny Business Podcast. It's the first podcast of 2023 for Matt and I, and you may have a New Year's resolution of like, I want to listen to more podcasts. So maybe you came across our podcasts. Well, first of all, welcome. We're so glad that you're here. We're two best friends that we met in college. We talk about the most random of things, but the things that you wouldn't see in your typical Twitter feed or your 5 o'clock news of the local TV station. And we're here to have some fun because what better way to do a podcast than with your best friend? My best friend, Matt. How are you? How are things?
Things are great. 2023 off to a hot start. Things are just, it's good vibes so far. Positive vibes only in 2023. We are, as we're recording, a few days into the new year, and it just feels good. It's like I don't know. I'm not really one of those persons that like feels like a new year, new me kind of thing. Like I do enjoy the changing of the years, and it is new, but I don't feel like I'm like a totally different person just because the new year happened, or like I'm going to be a totally different person just because the new year happened. I think it just comes over time. It could happen in January. It could happen in June. It could happen in December. You never know.
I had a quote years ago back in my senior year of high school that one of my soccer coaches mentioned to me. And the quote is, I am the captain of my ship. I am the master of my fate. And I did a self-confidence presentation, and that was a quote I started off with. And I said, your experience is not going to be the same as mine. So I hope we're all not in the same ship, because it'd be a different experience. So Matt, 100% right on that. Do you think, Matt, people are tired of hearing our Anchor ad?
Yeah, probably. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for Anchor, we would not be doing a podcast.
You're right, Matt. Once again, we have to thank Anchor for helping us continue to make each episode. Y'all know how it works. Anchor is free. It's easy to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and distributes your podcast to platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And you all know that you can make money too, even with the first couple episodes that you start with.
So why haven't you started your own podcast yet? Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
So Mike, when do you think we'll stop talking about Anchor?
Oh man, Matt. You know what? To be completely honest, I think we'll be talking about this for a long time. But yeah, I mean, it's a new year, new expectations, new things coming everybody's way, not just you and I, Matt, but everybody else. And, you know, if you're a recurring listener to the show, Matt, it's that time of the year.
I was hoping so.
You know, it was so funny because I was like trying to like figure out what we wanted to talk about the first year of the new year. And like, it just so happened that this quote article, or shall I say presentation, was released December. So like they released it before the new year. So we were already set for the first episode of 2023, but the good friends over at Lake Superior State University, they've been doing this tradition since 1976. Matt, you know it as much as I do. It is the 2023 Banished Words list. So what they do is they open up nominations for Banished Words of 2023. If you remember correctly, you know, back in 2020, we were talking about pivoting. We're all in this together. Other
Sus.
things. What's that?
Sus.
That's another one. So this year's nominations came from most major U.S. cities and many U.S. states, plus Australia, New Zealand, France, Italy, Portugal, England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, the Netherlands, Belgium, Czech Republic, India, China, Namibia, South Africa, Nigeria, America Samoa, Malaysia, the British Virgin Islands, Trinidad, and Tobago, and throughout Canada.
Nice. Congratulations for doing that pretty good.
I do have to say, I do remember last year there was some vocabulary that I was quite impressed with myself as far as the explanation as to why the world was banned last year. But Matt, I'm going to go start with number 10. There are 10 words that are banished from the previous year, 2022, that we should leave behind and celebrate 2023. So, Matt, any guesses of what words are banished?
So we talked about gaslighting being the word of the year.
Okay.
However, I feel like it was pretty predominant in 2022, so I'm going to go with gaslighting.
Okay.
What else? I feel like there was another one that I had this feeling earlier we were going to be talking about this, so I tried thinking of like what I could guess, and there was a word that I thought of, and now I can't think of it. Maybe triggered.
Triggered.
Mm-hmm.
It's
a wild card. I'll throw
wild
that out
card.
there. Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yep.
Hate it.
That's yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Well, number 10, Matt. You and I have said this a lot in the past few years, per se. Very much so. It has come up through TikTok.
Mm.
And at number 10 of the banished word for 2023 is "it is what it is."
Oh, I say that all the time. I say that all the time. To a certain degree, I understand it because I feel like, and I'm guilty of this too, instead of just like talking about it, I'll just say it is what it is. Instead of actually like diving into like what the actual root of the problem is. However, sometimes it is what it is.
So they give a little explanation for every banished word for the year. So this will go into it. It was actually banished in 2008 for overuse, misuse, and uselessness. Pointless cop-out. Only Yogi Berra should be allowed to utter such a circumlocution. Yeah, see, there comes the words. Its resurgence prompted these insights. Well, duh, no kidding. Of course it is what it is. What else would it be? It would be weird if it wasn't. It would be weird if it wasn't what it wasn't. Tautology adds no value. Verbal crutch, excuse not to deal with reality or accept responsibility. Dismissive, borderline rude.
I don't know about the borderline rude, but in some cases it can be rude.
I'm trying to circumlocution. I think that is a word. Do not quote me on that.
Well, it's definitely a word.
It's a word.
I couldn't tell you what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with it. Like, again, I'm definitely going to keep saying it. Because I think a lot of times it is like a cop out, but there's also like a few rare instances where it is what it is. And also, it makes that person saying it. It does make you feel better when you say it, whether it's correct or incorrect. Like if you say it is what it is, you feel better when you say it.
But I kind of understand. It's like, of course it is what it is. What else would it be?
Right. But then what else are you going to say?
No. Sucks.
Shit happens.
Shit happens. All right. Moving on to the next word at number 9. Simple word. Absolutely.
What?
Yep.
Explain their explanation.
Banished in 1996, but deserves a repeat nope given its overuse. Usurped the simple yes, laments a contributor. Another condemned it as the current default to express agreement endemically present on TV in one-on-one interviews. Frequently said too loudly by annoying people who think they're better than you. Bemoaning on aggrieved observer. Sounds like it comes with a guarantee when that might not be the case, cautioned a wary watchdog.
So they're arguing that people use it in an argument, like against someone?
More or less, it's almost like an exclamation. Like, absolutely. Like, it almost is like a lead on. Like, it almost is distrustful in the sense. But I say absolutely a lot. And I should try to leave it behind.
I also say it a lot. I feel like most of the times when I just say it because I'm agreeing with someone.
Right.
All right, sure, I'll get behind it. I'm still gonna say it, but I'll get behind it. There it is.
All right, Matt, at number 8, I love this word. I've never used it in my vocabulary terminology here, but I will say it at number 8. Irregardless.
I don't know if I've ever said that word before in my life. In an actual conversation, right. I don't think it's ever popped up.
So I found this out in college when a classmate's boyfriend was having an argument with her that irregardless is a word. And, you know, if Lake Superior State University is banishing this word, it is a word.
Sure.
So, sleuth confession. It makes my hair hurt. As well it should, because it's not a word. At most, it's a non-standard word per some dictionaries. Regardless suffices. Opponents disqualified it as a double negative. One conveyed that the prefix and regardless equals redundancy. Take regardless and dress it up for emphasis, showcasing your command of non-existent words. Excoriated, and exasperated correspondent adding, why isn't this on your list? Misuse.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those words where I would try to use it in a sentence and I would use it incorrectly. So I probably just, no one should say it.
I side with the sleuth saying it makes my hair hurt. I will say it makes my voice hurt trying to force out irregardless. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I have to say in a British accent in order for you to get out irregardless.
I don't want people to think I'm that smart by saying the word. Like, if I say that word, people would get the wrong impression of me, and I don't want to throw that out there. Like, I'm a smart guy. I'm not smart enough to use irregardless correctly in a sentence.
Yeah. What was it? I was at a podcast last week. Well, it was actually promoted today, but yesterday, I should say. So there was this week of the release, and I said hybridity, and my mom looked at me because I saw her the other day. She's like, "What is that word?" And I'm like, "That must be a 10-point vocab word there." So it is what it is.
I saw that clip of you, and I was like, "Oh, that is a word,
right?"
Yeah, sick.
All right, at number 6, amazing.
I'm gonna let this one slide.
Okay.
Because I do feel like it is way overused.
Okay. The explanation, not everything is amazing. And when you think about it, very little is, a dissenter explained. This glorious word should be reserved for that which is dazzling, moving, or awe-inspiring. To paraphrase another, like the divine face of a newborn. Initially banished for misuse, overuse, and uselessness in 2012, its cynical return mandates further nixing of the, quote, generic, banal, and hollow modifier, a worn-out adjective from people short on vocabulary.
Yeah, no, I do think it is overused. I think people just use amazing when anything's good or great, when in reality, amazing is better than good or great. I think people are too quick to just say something's amazing because if in their head minds, if they say it's great, then that's not like enough. Or they're trying to I feel like sometimes maybe people try to show off when they use the word amazing to try to make themselves look better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I do say amazing, like that was amazing, or like that was. I think awesome comes out more than amazing. I think I shared. No, I'll keep that to myself. I feel like I shared something that had the word amazing in it, and somebody corrected me saying it's not amazing, and it's like, yeah, based on this definition, it is
Correct.
But yeah, at number 6 is amazing. At number 5 of Banished Words for 2023, I am totally ready to leave this behind. Moving forward.
Yeah. Yep.
Misuse. Go ahead.
It just pisses me off. Continue.
The explanation: misuse, overuse, and uselessness. Where else would we go? Wander to sage, since we can't, in fact, travel backward in time. May also refer to get my way, as in, how can we move forward? Well, guess what? Sometimes you can't. Another wit stated, politicians and bosses often wield it for semantic legitimacy of self-interest, evasion, and disingenuous, frick.
You had it.
Disingenuousness. There we go. Its next of kin, going forward, banished in 2001, also received votes. I 100% agree. It sounds too close to, I'm going to get it. This is how it's my way. And we're going to go with that. I think too many times bosses will use those types of quips to be right. And I'm using air quotes in right.
Correct me if I'm using the wrong word, but it's just kind of condescending.
Yes, that is right.
Yeah, it's
correct.
Extremely condescending. It's just like you can make your point without saying those two words.
Right. Absolutely.
Unnecessary.
Completely unnecessary. All right. At number 4, Matt, you guessed it. It's gaslighting.
Nice. Nailed it. I think I said this last week or 2 weeks, whenever we talked about it. I've never heard the word gaslight until 2022. Never. Yeah. And I didn't know what it meant until we talked about it on this podcast.
Nominators are not crazy by arguing that overuse disconnects the term from the real concern it has identified in the past. Dangerous psychological manipulation that causes victims to distrust their thoughts, feelings, memories, or perception of reality. Others cited misuse and incorrect catch-all. Oh, a catch-all. It did that spelling very weird. To refer generally to conflict or disagreement. It's too obscure of a reference to begin with. Avowed sundry critics alluding to the 1938 play and 1940 or 1944 movies.
I feel like it's one of those terms that it got so popular, people just assumed everybody was gaslighting them. Or like the second something bad happened, oh, you're gaslighting me, which very well could be the case, and gaslighting can be a real concern. I just feel like some people just kind of overused it, and they kind of made it illegitimate in a way just because it got overused.
Anytime I hear somebody say gaslight, I immediately think of a legit gaslight, a light that's gas.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, moving on. Top 3, Matt. Top 3 words to be banished for 2023. Mm-hmm. At number 3, quiet quitting.
Oh, I've never heard of this.
You've never heard of this? I've heard of it myself.
I've not.
I will give you the explanation.
Please do.
Trendy, but inaccurate. Not an employee who inconspicuously resigns. Instead, an employee who completes the minimum requirements for a position. Some nominator reasons: normal job performance. Fancy way of saying work to rule. Nothing more than companies complaining about workers refusing to be exploited. It's not a new phenomenon. It's burnout, boredom, and disengagement. On the precipice of next year's banished words list as well for ongoing misuse and overuse. So, as I mentioned, it is when somebody or an individual at a job completes the minimum requirements for their position. And it has come up more and more because of staffing issues and lack of resources, that bosses are now putting more things on individuals for this year, which is resulting in these people called quiet quitting. But in reality, I think it's very societal because they are completing the minimum requirements. And if the minimum requirements are in their job description, they are doing their job.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. You know, if they do the minimum requirements, they're doing what you hired them to do.
Right.
And if you want them to go above and beyond what they're doing, pay them more and put that into job description so that they can continue to do the minimum requirements for their job.
Add more minimum requirements.
Correct. Yes.
But with a pay raise.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
It's 2023 now. I think all states, because I know New York just did this, but they're kind of exploiting it a little bit. They should put salaries in job descriptions.
I 100% agree.
Mm-hmm. Not that I'm looking for a job. I'm just, I'm hearing it from everybody of like how awful it is.
Same. Yes.
Yeah.
No. And so many times, like, a company will go to offer someone a job, and then it's like, well, what's the salary? Here you go. Oh, that's too low. Well, you could have avoided the whole interview process and had your new candidate by now if you were upfront about your salary.
Right. 100% right, Matt. All right. The final 2. The first one I will mention, you'll be like, what the heck? Because I did that too. Number 1, you might have a little bit of anger, I shouldn't say, but more contention than anything than that.
Okay.
So at number 2, banished words for 2023 is inflection point.
Inflection point?
Inflection point. INFLECTION, and the point is it's spelled.
Never heard that used before.
So, mathematical term that entered everyday parlance and lost its original meaning. This year's version of, quote, pivot, banished in 2021. Chronic throat clearing from historians, journalists, scientists, or politicians. Its ubiquity has driven me to an inflection point of throwing soft objects about whenever I hear it, a quipster recounted. Inflection point has reached its saturation point and point of departure. proclaimed another pretentious way to say turning point, overuse and misuse.
So what does it mean?
It's another word for like a turning point.
Oh,
so
yeah,
like,
you just sound like a rich snob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love me some I forget what it's called. Is it called Scrabble? It's like 6-letter words. I forget like the specific. So. It's like a 6-letter word. I love like just throwing a dime or two, but like not all the time. Like there's these people that will just throw in jargon after jargon after jargon, and then it's like, okay, so they are just trying to make themselves feel like they're smarter by talking like they're smarter. And it's like, okay, buddy, like, okay, Karen or Pam or whoever, John, Jim, Jimbo, Jonathan. I know I just kind of took names and I expanded them more of their full name. Not that I just was throwing random names. Matthew, Luke, Mark, John. Yeah, I gotta laugh out of that. It's good to leave this one behind, even though I didn't think that this was even part of 2022.
It's another one of those words that I'm not going to say because I don't want people thinking about smart. It's also one of those words that if someone says that in a sentence, I'm like, oh, this guy. Here we go.
Please,
like, I don't want to listen to anything you have to say.
Please tell me the word.
What?
I thought you said, oh, you mean the inflection point. Like once you hear it, you'll be like, oh, I thought you had a word in particular that like.
No, not this guy again. He's an inflection point. Like, I'm not going to listen to anything you have to say.
All right, Matt, at number 1 of the 2023 banished words list. Do you know this one? Do you think
I'm nervous? No, I don't know.
Okay. Sports reference.
Oh, okay. I'm ready.
At number 1 of the 2023 banished words list is GOAT.
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
This acronym for greatest of all time gets the GOAT of petitioners and judges for overuse, misuse, and uselessness. Applied to everyone and everything, from athletes to chicken wings, an objector declared. How can anyone or anything be the GOAT anyway? Records fall, time continues. Some sprinkle GOAT like table salt on anyone who's really good. Another wordsmith, ironically, GOAT, once suggested something unsuccessful. Now, GOAT is an indiscriminate flaunt.
I agree 100% with this because nothing can be the GOAT, the greatest of all time, if not every single person can agree on it. Like, let's just take basketball. Half the world thinks MJ is the GOAT. Half thinks it's LeBron. You can't say one is the GOAT versus the other if it's not universal. Like, I don't even think there is a GOAT in anything. I don't think there's a greatest in all time in anything because there's going to be people that disagree on it. So it's just more of an opinion thing. And at least when it comes to sports, I could give two shits who you think the GOAT is because it's irrelevant. It doesn't affect my life. It doesn't affect the sport itself. Yeah, I just think it's way overused. And also overused. Well, I'll save that.
Yeah. Records are meant to be broken.
Correct.
And, I was at, shout out Trent. I was at Trent. So Trent's back on the hardwood now for basketball. Senior playing, and he's captain. And, similar to me, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, like I was captain and I didn't play. And like Trent is playing and getting some solid minutes and actually making some great contributions, taking charges, getting rebounds, getting these nice post moves, like
the Draymond Green of this high school basketball team.
I think I almost called him that the other night, and I was like, no, I'm going to pull it back. But the thought process, and I've shared this with Jenna, is when you have kids, the purpose of having kids is so they are better than you in life. You always want them to have a better life than what you did.
Yep.
And that's kind of how, talk about basketball, like records are meant to be broken. Things are meant to be better. It's so nice to see Trent And I'm proud of him. Like, that's why I love going to see his games as much as I can. Is he and I the greatest of all time? No. But again, no one is calling him the GOAT. And like you said, Matt, that's more opinion. And I think we even get so caught up sometimes when at like interviews or whatnot. Like I remember this one, I think it was Jimmy Fallon was interviewing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Because I think Kareem had like an upcoming show that he produced. I don't know. And Jimmy asked him, who's better? Who's the greatest of all time? Michael Jordan or LeBron James? And I think in the interview, he said me.
He's got a good point.
He's got a good point. But this was, anyway, it's all about opinion. And again, I agree. It is very overused and it's misused in the opinion. So
can I throw out a word that's kind of similar that I would like to ban myself in 2023?
I'm going to say OG.
No.
Oh.
Calling someone him.
What?
Have you not seen this?
I've not heard about this.
Okay, so like let's say Jason Tatum goes off for like 60 points in the game.
Yeah.
So he's him. Like he's him, he's the guy. Have you not seen this? Oh, people will put it like in the middle of their name, like Jace him Tatum instead of Jason Tatum. Or Jason Tate him. It's the stupidest thing of all time.
What is he, Jesus?
Yes, no, that's basically what they're implying. Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
It got to a point where they said like, oh, he's him. But then when you start putting it like calling him Jason Tate him, we crossed the line. We got to stop. It's so stupid. I'd rather you call him the GOAT than him. Like, just leave him for what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I don't want to bring up a particular internet celebrity, but Top G. I see a lot of people calling people the Top G.
Yeah.
And I think we should stop that too.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was going to say something. Possibly that was show canceling, the first year of 2023.
Okay.
But
there it is.
I'll have to, no, never mind. I'll tell you after in the after pod.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good to me.
But yeah, Matt, that was your list of 2023 Banished Words list. Big shout out to Lake Superior State University. You can go on their website, just Google Lake Superior State University Banished Words list. You can look at the words since 1976. And wow. You can look at it. You can see the stuff that we covered previous years. Yeah, I always love looking at this list because it's a tradition and it's also becoming a tradition for us to cover it for all of our people of our coworkers. But yeah, that's it.
Wow. It's always one of my favorite segments of the year. That's a great way to start off the 2023 podcast for Funny Business. Another great way to start is with some segments. Let's dive into it. Let's dive into a little buy or sell. Mike, I will go first.
Go for it.
I have a few. I'm buying coffee.
Again?
Literally, I'm buying coffee. Coffee just makes every day better. And I was in Florida for part of my winter break, visiting April, and her family was down there as well.
Nice.
There was one day, Mike, I didn't have coffee. I just didn't have it. I actually was it New Year's Eve?
Oh.
No. Yeah, it was New Year's Eve. I did not have coffee. Probably the first time in all of 2022 that I went a day without coffee.
What?
And I was really tired.
Uh-oh.
It was not fun. Not that I had it not by choice. I kind of woke up and didn't go to get coffee, didn't make coffee. I went somewhere. When I first went I was going to Disney Springs by myself. Just had some time to kill. I was like, all right, I'm going to stop and get coffee. And then I ended up eating lunch. I had Guy Fieri, like chicken.
Oh,
very good. And then I just ended up being full, and I was like, I'm kind of awake. I don't want coffee. But I regret it because I was very tired come like 10 o'clock. So coffee's just the best.
I brought my rapid cold brew maker when I had my break, my winter break. Best thing I ever done. And I tried pumpkin spice coffee for the very first time.
Don't love it.
I'm neutral.
Yeah, I don't love it. Definitely not a white girl in that scenario.
I can't say that the neutral was that I like it or I hate it. I'm just neutral.
Yeah, I can give or take it.
Yeah.
I'm also buying airport drinks.
Did you
No
have a
better
mimosa
way
finally?
To start. No, I'm not gonna mimosa.
Oh no!
Well, so when I flew down at like 2:30 in the afternoon.
And
so this was weird, Mike. So in a little bit I'm gonna talk about traveling.
okay,
We'll get there.
all right.
However, I got to the airport, the local airport, to fly down to Florida. There was barely anyone in the place, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go have a drink. No better way to start your vacation than an airport drink. Had a rum and coke. It was great.
Ooh,
Yep.
$15.
Less.
Nice.
Yeah, that was clutch.
Good choice.
Yeah. Yep. And then I'm also gonna buy SeaWorld. So me and April went to SeaWorld over break. It was cool. Not something that I know a lot of locals go all the time. I wouldn't go all the time if I was a local in Florida. It was cool to see. We did the sea otter and the sea lion show. We did the dolphin show. We did the orca show. But other than that, like, you could ride the rides, but the rides are okay, in my opinion. Just not a whole lot to do. But SeaWorld, I still enjoyed it. It was cool. It was a different vibe. We had good weather. The shows were great. You know, it was neat seeing the dolphins do their flips, and the sea otters was just adorable. So I like SeaWorld. I would go. You know, it's a good thing to do, and I think it'd be fun to do with when we eventually have kids.
Yeah, the last time I was at SeaWorld and Aquatica was almost 10 years ago. So
wow,
the memories have, unfortunately, I'm like literally trying to think. Like, I knew Aquatica, I was in a swimsuit, but like that's all I remember. But I remember the rides were quicker to get on, less wait times, and yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to sell. I'm going to sell people who travel. Now, I don't know if these people were just on one because it was the holidays. People just need to chill. Like, we were getting ready to board the plane to go down, and they just said what gate the plane was at, and people just crowded the gate. We weren't even boarding. And they just crowded the gate. But then they get on the intercom. They're like, "Please step away from the terminal, from the gate. We're not boarding yet. We will be boarding." And no one moves. They just didn't move. And then they start boarding priority access, and everybody's just like, "Oh, can I get on?" They're like, "You don't have priority access. We're not boarding you yet. Take a seat." I'm not kidding. Boarding probably took 20 minutes longer than it should have, just because people were just so impatient. Like, you're at the gate. The plane's not going to leave before you get on there. So just take a chill pill.
It's those same people that when we're exiting the plane, like when you land and everybody gets up.
Yes, I know. That's the best. Like, I was in like the 6th row, so I had a good reason to get up pretty soon after the plane lands. But I love turning around and just seeing everybody standing up, and then like the person who has the window seat is like bunched over like this because they can't stand up all the way. It's like, you're gonna have neck cramp now, dude. Like, that's just on you. You're an idiot.
I will say, for somebody that had a 6-hour flight like me, like, I can understand getting up, standing up, like, totally fine.
That's fair. Yes.
I will say that that's a little odd of what you experienced, but I think there was a certain fear that was being, let's say, put upon holiday travelers because of everything that was happening with Southwest.
Well, yeah, thank God I didn't have to fly Southwest. I was nervous too, because the flight that I was on like 2 days before me got canceled because there was a problem with the plane. And I was like, oh, here we go. Yeah. But if that's the worst thing that happened to me, I'll take it.
Getting a flight canceled? Or
no,
you mean like the travelers?
Annoying traveling people.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm also going to sell unpacking because I got I got back to Pennsylvania yesterday, as of recording today. I still haven't unpacked. So I have to do that at some point, and I'm
You
just
lazy
really not.
sack of shit.
Yeah, I know. You're not wrong. I'm just really not looking forward to it. And then finally, Mike, I'm selling our best friendship.
What?
So, not that I don't think we're not best friends. I know we are.
Excuse me?
However,
What are you bringing up?
I received something that we don't have this as best friends. So are we really best friends?
What?
Hold on, I can't open the packaging.
Wait, I think I know what you got. Oh no.
Yeah. Mike,
I think I know what you got.
what do you hold on.
Do you wear it?
It doesn't fit great.
It's a ring.
I got fat fingers.
It's a ring, isn't it?
It's the best friends forever ring from SpongeBob. April got it for me for Christmas. She has one.
No.
I have one.
No, she's your girlfriend. She's not your best friend.
Well, girlfriends can also be your best friends.
Back the up, okay? Let me tell you.
Let me tell you something.
I've been with Matt for almost 5 years, okay? You've only been together for 1, all right?
A little over a year.
I know some of the yeah.
There it is. That proved your point.
I've seen Matt wake up. I've seen Matt fall asleep. I've seen Matt drunk. I've seen Matt throw up. I've seen Matt in his underwear. I've seen Matt with just socks on, which is not naked. I'm kidding. I've never seen you with just socks on. Matt's just playing with his best friends forever ring. You know what?
I'm not saying we're not best friends. It makes you think, are we, because we don't have BFF rings?
That hurt.
No.
It hurts.
I'm not saying we're not best friends.
Uh-huh.
It just, when I got it, I was like, wait, does this mean April is now my best friend? If it helps. No, I don't think they actually make rings, but
if it helps.
It's not
because you've already done minimal damage.
No, it is pretty sick though. Like SpongeBob is painted yellow, Patrick's painted pink. It does not rotate, but that's fine. I also have trouble getting them out of the ring, so I'm going to close it right now so I don't break it. Yeah, so
you gonna get it fitted?
Maybe. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
I can't close it.
Just gonna watch Matt.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna put it down before I break it.
Podcasting content.
All right, Mike, you're by yourself. I love you.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Love you.
Well, I had a buy about you, but I don't know if I want to talk about it.
Put it in as a neutral. I'm neutral.
I'm buying golf.
Oh yeah, no,
let me tell you. I know. Well, that's the point. I've said on this podcast for quite some time that I've always just wanted to go golfing with Matt,
Correct.
Jenna's dad, just anybody in general.
Yep.
The worst part is I don't have a set of clubs. Back when I mentioned that. What was great, which is kind of a context that I haven't shared with anybody, is Jenna was at my house during Thanksgiving and she had the flu at the time. And all of a sudden I heard snaps. I know exactly what to get you for Christmas. And it kind of freaks me out because I don't know about you, Matt, but like I'm an easy receiver for Christmas. Like I could literally get Boar's Head, please sponsor us. Chipotle Gourmets, just 2 packets of those sauces, and like I'd be set. I'd be so freaking happy. I get there, and it was a gift from both all of Jenna and her parents, and it's a set of clubs.
Love it.
And you know the first person I texted?
Was it me?
My best friend Matt.
Yeah. I appreciate that because I can't wait to go golfing with you.
And what was even like so nice more because Jenna's dad golfs more frequently and has golfed for so many years now. He just had a bucket of golf balls. He's like, here, just take a handful. And then he had tees. So like I'm set to go whenever. Like I don't have to buy golf balls. I don't have to buy tees. Like I'm ready, man. Like I'm ready to swing for the fences. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work, but like, I'm so ready.
I'm ready for the vlog that we're going to make.
The what?
The vlog.
Oh, the vlog. I thought you said the hog. I'm like, what?
No. Oh, we're definitely vlogging and golfing.
Vlog it. Vlog and golf. Yeah, so that was a really cool Christmas present. And I really, really appreciated it. So yeah, and then my other buy is Steve Max.
Steve Max.
Yeah, Steve Max. Matt, did you know there's an occupation of being a professional Simon Says guy?
No.
Yeah. So this man who I've seen in multiple TikToks, he's performed at the Wells Fargo Arena for a 76ers game. He's a professional Simon Says guy. So he's the person that says, Simon says, put your left hand up. Simon says, put your left hand down. Put your left hand up. And he's good. Like, I remember playing Simon Says as a kid. He's brutal when he plays Simon Says.
Wow.
Like, it is... There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, he does a command and you do it. He's like, you're out. There was a one time, which you could see it on TikTok. 76ers had like a little like halftime show with him. And they think they had about like 12 people spanning across like the foul line. And they were spread out. Like they're pretty much on the court, like from sideline to sideline. And like people starting getting eliminated. And he calls over the people on the left, his left. And he goes, come down here more, come down here more. And all four of them walked. And he goes, you're out, you're out, you're out.
Oh my gosh.
Like, that was brutal.
That's ridiculous.
But yeah, I never knew that was an occupation. And I want to give props to Steve Max. You could probably find him on TikTok. You could probably find him on YouTube. Steve Max is his name.
That's a pretty sweet. I would love to play with him.
It's intense. I'll send you TikTok.
Really nervous, but that's awesome.
I think that's why everybody was really nervous, because when you say he's a professional Simon Says guy, it's like, we're not just like playing with our best friend here.
Yeah, it's like, hi, I play Simon Says for a living. It's like, what? That's awesome.
And then I'm selling New Year's resolutions.
Do tell.
Okay. I'm not upset with me not coming up with a New Year's resolution. I think I'm a little bit more down to earth when it comes to New Year's resolutions. And the unfortunate thing is, when it comes to New Year's resolutions, people will do things that they're not comfortable with, which like is fine. Like, you could be uncomfortable to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
They set these monumental goals for them to try to achieve. And, probably the number one, biggest New Year's resolution, go to the gym more. And they set this idea where it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym every single day. And either they waste money on a membership, and then they go to like 2 days, and then something comes up, and like, that's fine. Like, I will use my quote New Year's resolution / something to think ahead for the year. I'm going to try my best keyword, in not having a drink during the weekday, or like profusely drinking on the weekend. Because it was kind of funny when we had our New Year's Eve party. The next morning, I said, was I bad? And Jenna said, you were the least drunk out of all the years that we've been dating for New Year's Eve. I said, I don't know if that's a compliment or if that's an insult.
That's great. Oh my God.
It was great. I love it. It was, but yeah, like, people are setting way too high expectations, which, like, you go Glen Coco, like, if you set a high expectation and you do it. But in like most cases for those, it's like, oh yeah, I want to read a book. I want to read 365 books. I was like, okay, that's pretty attainable. Like, I'm not a bookworm myself, so I'm not going to do that New Year's resolution. But, people are, I wanted to do dry January. And Jenna's dad was like, yeah, good luck with that. So maybe being a little bit more limited with the amount of drinks I have in a given week. So yeah, New Year's resolutions, I think, is just a very big facade for letting people down for high expectations.
I agree, because you can have a New Year's resolution that starts in May.
Right.
like, yes, it's a new calendar year, but that doesn't mean you can't set a resolution 7 months from now and say, okay, if you start in July and you want to go to the gym starting in July, say in 1 year, I want to lose 30 pounds, whatever. You don't have to set that just because it's January. You can set that at any time during the year. So I do think New Year's resolutions this time of year are kind of not pointless, but I don't like if you don't have one. I don't have one. I don't need one. I'm okay with life right now.
I know people like focus on a word for their year. Like, you know, it's like my word for this year is like determination, or my word for this year is positivity. Like, it's something along the lines of that to follow up with.
Mm-hmm.
But like, again, I'm very happy for whatever condition or whatever, you know, thing that an individual pursues. But if you're listening to this and being like, man, like maybe Mike's right, I shouldn't do XYZ. I'm not telling you shouldn't do XYZ, but just set more realistic expectations as you're moving ahead into your New Year's resolution.
Yeah, I think going to the gym's a tough one, because if you say, oh, I want to lose like 40 pounds this year, and it's the end of January and you lost 2, you're gonna lose a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
So I think it's if the gym is your goal or losing weight is your goal, don't set a New Year resolution for like the year. Maybe go like a month by month plan of what you want to try to do, or even just, I don't know. If it's a tricky slope to go down.
And that's, society kills those type of expectations too, because in most cases, you know, gym does revolve around health. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just revolves around getting a workout in, so as you feel a little bit more wide awake. Maybe you don't need that cup of coffee in the morning because you go to the gym every day. Props to anybody who can do that. But, you know, having more of those realistic expectations. Somebody who I know very well, her name's Amy Diegler. She's a photographer. And she takes a photo every day, a unique photo every day, and she posts it on Facebook. Like, that's realistic because she's a photographer. Like, she takes photos almost every day. But having those really pie in the sky ideas of, you know, I want to learn how to code this year by myself. Like, okay, that's a big expectation for you, but maybe like turn it down a little bit. Like, maybe I want to just once a day learn how to code, or like, yeah. So
yeah, no, that's fair.
I just want everybody to know that they are fine the way that they are. And if it's just more of a goal setting for you, that's great. But it shouldn't be something that like it is wearing away on your self-being or your mental health or your body.
I agree.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yes.
That's it.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I only had one.
Okay. All right, moving on. One final segment to end the first show of 2023. It is time for some Down in the Dumps. Mike, I will let you go first.
Ready to hear this story I haven't told you yet?
I'm ready.
So, you know, Matt and I had the beautiful opportunity to take off for our jobs.
Yep.
Very fortunate to both of us have that opportunity. We're grateful for those who aren't having a week off of vacation, but are still doing their jobs, you know, grocery store workers, first responders, all that good jazz.
It's also a tough time of the calendar because Christmas and New Year's Day both on a Sunday.
Yeah. Because, you know, people would go back to work on Monday. So I thought to myself, okay, so I get back Sunday right after New Year's Day, the new year, hot and fresh. I go to sleep. I wake up late. My alarms didn't go off. I'm scrambling to get out of bed. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I said, this is not the way to start off the new year. You know, trying to get to work, get showered. I'm like, I can't eat breakfast. So as I make my breakfast, I put it in my lunchbox. I know it's weird, but like I wanted to have a piece of monkey bread and my coffee with me. Apparently monkey bread is not a breakfast item, apparently. But anywho.
Anything's breakfast if you eat it in the morning.
What's that?
Anything's breakfast if you eat it in the morning.
I heard that my boss had 8 pieces of shrimp with butter today.
Okay. All right. Sure.
So, I'm driving up to work, and Matt knows where I work, and I know where Matt works, so I will keep the anonymity, but drive up the nice long road, nice some trees and pine trees and the pines. And I take a left turn. The big building that I work in is in front of me. And I get to the parking lot. And I park in my spot and put in park. And I'm looking around. And I'm not seeing that many cars in the parking lot, Matt.
Oh, no.
So I'm like sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, that guy's not here. I know he's like here all the time. This guy's not here. I know he's here pretty much every day. This guy's here. So I text a couple of my coworkers. I said, I'm in the parking lot right now. Am I missing something? Matt, I had Monday off.
Oh, no.
For work.
Oh, no. Mike, how did you not know? How did you not know?
I don't know, Matt. So I love it. Like I'm not sad about it. I'm not frustrated about I am down about it, but
Oh.
I'm like sitting there. I'm like, I'm going back to bed. And I didn't go back to bed. Like it was like a newfound day. Like that's what one of my coworkers, Mark, said. It's like it's a newfound day. Like you didn't even realize you had that day. So you just made the best of it. So cleaned my apartment a little bit, got a Swift around, did all that fancy stuff. But yeah. Now the running joke was today that we got a calendar invite today that the Good Friday of Easter this year we have off. And of course, my boss put everybody in a group chat, said, just a reminder, Mike, not to come into work that day.
Nice.
So I was just being an overachiever, man.
At the end of the day, you just love your job.
Yeah. Luckily, I did not go into my office to find out.
I'm glad.
I was sitting in my car. Once I did, I put in reverse tear and I bolted out of there.
Mm-hmm. As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the Monday after New Year's that I decided that I was going to go into work, even though I did not have to go into work.
Wow.
So I should have checked my calendar because I don't know if this was preemptive or if I asked, but it actually wasn't in my calendar to be off on that second. But then in my Outlook, because like you have like the iPhone calendar and then there's the Outlook calendar. Apparently I saw when I was looking at my calendar today from my phone, it's not there anymore. What the heck?
Nice.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what. It didn't say it on the memo that was released of like holidays that were off, but so be it.
I know a lot of places did give you. I know my work gave us off the second just because the first was on a Sunday.
But it was so weird because all the schools, like they were in session, like the schools that were in my area, like you saw the buses come through. Like it seemed like a normal day to me, but it wasn't.
It's always something.
So that's my only down in the dumps for the year 2023. Trying to be a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more positive.
That's it's not a bad way to start the year. It could be worse. All right. Let me pull up my list. I had it pulled up. I don't know what happened. The Suns suck. Devin Booker's injured for about a month or so. DeAndre Ayton's just he's a wild child. Chris Paul's old and he might kind of suck now. So the season started off really optimistic, and now I don't know. I'll be happy if we make the play-in tournament. We'll see what happens. And then really my only other down in the dumps. Long distance still sucks. It was great to see April for about a week. The goodbyes don't get easier, let me tell you that. And we're doing good. We do a good job of communicating, I think. It just sucks not being able to just like drive the 15 minutes to our house this year. So we're making the best of it, but it's definitely not any easier.
I get
That's
that.
it.
I get that, man.
Yeah.
I think the good thing to look to in your scenario, at least, is that she has family down there.
Yeah.
So, but hey, apparently, if she got you a best friends forever ring, I mean,
That's how you know.
who am I to say? Who am I to give that advice? You know,
Right?
How many more months?
6.
It'll feel like tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'll feel like a month.
Well, we'll be fine.
Yeah, keep yourself busy, man.
Oh, I will. That's for sure.
You got to keep playing. You got to play more Fortnite with me, man. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Got to play more Rocket League. You got to. I don't know if there's an indoor golf driving range. That was me.
There's like what's that one place called? There's a few places like a virtual indoor golf.
Yeah. Go there.
Work on the golf game.
Yeah.
We'll make the best of it.
Talk to your brother.
Yep.
You know, go outside, touch grass.
Yep.
Plenty to do. You got plenty to do. It's all.
Yeah.
It's just make it work.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for sharing, Matt. I know that's a very vulnerable thing to talk about. So.
Yeah. I know it's just nice knowing that every time we see each other, it's just like nothing changed. Which I expected that to be the case. But yeah, it's tough, but we'll be fine.
Just like me and my best friend when I see them in person.
Yes.
You're never living this down.
Well, we do have to see each other in person soon. I need to give you your birthday present.
I know. And I have to give you your present.
Nice.
Actually, I did get the best gift. Because usually I don't really expect gifts from my my relatives and my families.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, I got cider for
Apple
Christmas.
cider?
I got a 4-pack.
Alcoholic cider?
Yeah.
Nice.
Matt, I want you to do me a favor.
Well.
No, I haven't. Well, I haven't had one yet. So.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have. Matt, I want you to read this for me.
Okay.
Can you see
it? No.
I
can't read what that says. Yeah, okay. That's better.
The audience saw that I was holding up a can of cider, but I just want Matt to read what the name of this cider is. So I texted Matt a picture. He should be getting it soon. Matt, I want you to just read it out loud.
I got it.
Yep.
Stick it in. Cider, trying hard.
So stick it is spelled STICKETT, and that's in. So it's stick it in.
That's a great name for a cider.
I had one. It was great. Kind of reminded me of a couple ciders I've had, but regardless.
Nice.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. Anyway, well, that concludes another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. Maybe you're new here. Maybe you're like, man, I want more funny business content. Well, guess what? You go to solo.to/funnybusiness. Find all of our social media. You can find all that good, juicy stuff. Maybe you're like, man, I want to see what these people look like. Well, you're in luck. We have a YouTube channel. We post all the episodes on that YouTube channel. It's fun, good stuff. Get to see how ugly I am, how gorgeous Matt is.
Yeah.
Just wait till you see his calves.
Correct.
But yeah, solo.to/funnybusiness. If you love us so much, we do have a merch store online too. You can get all the good merch, get all that good stuff. Long sleeve shirts recommended, at least for me. Matt always loves a good cup of Joe, so he always loves the mug. And Matt has a sweatshirt too that he also likes as well. So,
yep.
Mr. Matthew.
Yeah.
High expectations for the first episode of 2023. What is your advice for our coworkers of the funny business world?
Well, it's something we've talked about on the show before.
I don't want a recurring one.
We all saw the incident that happened at the Bills-Bengals game this past Monday night with DeMar Hamlin. Thoughts and prayers to him. Hope he's okay. Just a friendly reminder to everybody that when you wish him well online, you don't have to say what sports team you support. Like the man collapsed on the field. You don't have to say, Cowboys fan here. Hope he's okay. How about you just say, Hope he's okay.
It's okay.
I don't care you're a Cowboys fan. That doesn't matter. And it just makes you look like an idiot. We are getting to the point, however, where when someone posts that, 90,000 people reply to him and be like, you're an asshole.
Well, we've also learned that there's bigger assholes around during this incident as well. So
correct.
Mm-hmm.
But thoughts and prayers to Damar Hamlin. Terrible incident. Yeah, just hoping for the best.
Yeah. I mean, thoughts and prayers to anybody who goes through something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to the first responders who were probably getting paid regular wage,
Mm-hmm.
who kept him alive. But I heard it's a steady recovery right now. So it's, I don't know if he's out of the hospital yet.
He is not. Recording. No, I believe he's still in there as of now.
Yeah. Just important to hug your friends, hug your loved ones, hug your family.
If you haven't told someone you love them in a long time, tell them you love them.
Be sure to tell somebody you love them. So, well, thank you all again. Thank you all to our new listeners. Thank you all to our returning listeners, our loyal, lovely coworkers. And until the next time, we'll see you all in the next episode.
Stay safe, everyone.